now have the ability to take every thought that's in our mind and utilize the tools of technology and build the blueprints. Black men and women can now be the wealthiest that they wanted to be. We can be the healthiest as we wanted to be. We can be spiritually in line. We can be emotionally divine. We no longer have to wait on anybody else, and we can do it all on our own time. You understand me? Black men and women, from a masculine side, from a feminine side, come together and create that balance. That's that sun, moon, and star. As you see me wear my crown on a consistent, everyday basis, it's so that I remind myself on what perfection is, right? I'm not perfect, but I strive to be. I think that striving for it, that's the act of perfection itself. Every single day we work on our flaws. We try to get ourselves better, 1%. We try to figure out what is those habits that I can give up. How do I have control over the things that I drink, the things that I smoke, the things that I eat, the people that I hang around with? If the things are not attracting the things that I want, then I should be subtracting those things so that I can get to my attraction, so that I can be on track with what I want. A lot of us make too many excuses, and we look at the world that we built and we have nothing, because excuses build a world of nothingness. When we start to find reason, we start to utilize our logical, mathematical, rational, powerful, masculine mind, then everything starts to come into order. We think we can make excuses and we can live with our lower selves. That's not how we was born to be. As guys, we're supposed to always move with that higher self. We're supposed to think above here, not even just here, to where we control and we rule ourselves. So that when our women in the communities look to us to be a guide and a protector, look to us to be a chief, ask you a question, you should have an education to be able to sustain the answer, to give a solution. I talk about the recidivism rate in our communities when black men get out of prison. Can they come for a job? Can they come to you for a new skill set? Can you teach them something that they don't no longer have to do crime? That's our goal. When it comes to looking at the diseases that fall through our families, can we teach them how to eat better? Can we eat better to lead a better example? Can a youth that's growing up see a better generation instead of each generation blaming the last? Because if the last generation is talking to the current one, then it's your fault. This is the mess that you created. So instead of me looking at these children and say, I don't understand them, I don't get them, I don't like what they do, I don't like how they dress. You understand me? Don't get me wrong, they be a little weird sometimes. Understand me? But that weirdness was created from the last generation not giving guidance. This generation has something beautiful, powerful, intelligent. They're very resilient. They're emotionally brilliant, but they don't have guidance. They need somebody that they can look up to on a consistent basis to say that that's my brother. He's not going to cheat me, not going to rob me, not going to take my girl. He doesn't want what I have. He wants me to have more. What I want for my brother, I want for myself. I always qualify that brother and I break it down. So you are other if you don't have that black and righteousness that go on that brother, that BR. You understand me? And when we talk about black, we're not talking about legal status. We're not talking about nationality. We're talking about what's in the mind. If you're an original man, then you want for your brother what you want for yourself. And you say, you know what? I love my children. So guess what? I'm going to learn all of the knowledge so they don't have to depend on somebody else. Their father becomes their college. Because I can give you a degree of knowledge so where you can go do for self. I can teach you how to become your own banking system. I can teach you how to do land and farming. I can teach you about money and all of the skill sets that you now need. That's a different type of power. You understand me? The young women can go to the black men and say that, oh, you now can give me protection. You now have the things that I need. You now qualify to the standards that I want to see every black man upheld to. Now she can look at you and press. She don't look at another man in no other community because you own the communities that she's around. When she wants a job, she can come to you. When she wants to be treated right, as an equal partner, as a God, she comes to the black man. He's no longer somebody that she looks at and say he doesn't treat her right. He treats me foul, he cheats on me, he does me wrong in every opportunity and just sees me as this thing. No. He worked on himself, so now y'all can work together. The black woman has so much power. The black man has a sperm that he gives a spark to the egg and he jolts it and brings it to life. It's the same thing as when a man has a mind and his fecundity is working. He gives you a thought and it sparks and brings it to life, and a woman takes what he has, she nurtures it, and she comes to term with it. She brings it. She's the one that develops the ideas, that incubates them. It's the womb. The man's womb, I always say, is in his mind. The woman is the womb. She has it in her mind and she has it in her uterus. She has it within her. She has the ability to develop an entire nation. All we have to do is make sure that we right so you can do what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to protect you. We're supposed to make sure that the very essence of what we come from can continue to do what you were designed to do. And that's to give life. And when we are imbalanced, then we can be controlled. Because we no longer mind. How you gonna submit to somebody who's not a God? He wants you to submit, but he doesn't have any knowledge to give you. So therefore, you can now no longer act within your rightful place. You can't be the queen if there's no king, if there's no throne, if there's no nation. So we want things that we don't qualify for. So it's up to the black man to now say that, you know what? You're right, let me take my ego out the situation. I'm gonna treat this queen based on who she is, based on what her essence is. And that's the reason that I heal myself. That's the reason I work on myself. That's the reason I qualify myself and I train myself. And I know that I'm flawed and I know I've been things and I know I done wrong. And I know that I need to atone. So I'll take that pledge to become a better man so I can treat the woman as she's supposed to be treated. That's the pledge that every black man supposed to take, a self-respecting black man. If you think evil, you do evil. You change your thoughts, you change your world. And then you can be in your proper manner, as you're supposed to. Not having to be up front, but the one that can be on the side because the man is leading properly. But if he's not leading, then you have to harden yourself because he's not doing his job, which takes us off our natural alignment as God and goddesses. So every single day, we work with that foundation, that you're a God, that you raise yourself to a completely different standard in this world. You know cryptocurrency, you know blockchain, you know 3D modeling, you know land and engineering and generative design. You know the stock market and the history of the markets and financial intelligence. You know the principles of manhood, and then you're going to design your children that way so that the next generation don't suffer from the same curses we're trying to get rid of. That's our goal here. When we wear these crowns, we representing a higher standard. We representing universal development. We representing the sun, moon, and stars, all things coming in balance. We don't get distracted just because something is around us. Nothing takes us off our pivot. Nothing takes us off our square. The devil is always trying to distract you. Imagine if the black man can concentrate himself regardless of what's going on. Imagine if there's entertainment, there's ads, there's bullshit that's going on, and he still stay focusing on this square. Nothing stops him from that goal and that idea that he talked about, that he sparked in his head. Then she becomes impressed by you. Because she said, damn, he said it and he did it. Be and it is. That's the act of God. How do you know if your mind working? Because if you can take the thought out your head and bring it into reality, oh, you a man now. Man equals mind. So when you learn how to manage your mind, then you start to become a man. That's the full development. I grew up in Oakland, California. When I was young, I had to teach other men how to be men. And I wasn't even a man myself, but I knew the information to get them to spark an idea in their head to say that, wait a minute, bruh, you might have been a pimp before you walked in here, but you can't stay a pimp in here. You understand me? You might have been a drug dealer before you came in here, but we're not going to allow you to sell drugs to our people no more. But we also provide them opportunities and not just tell them what to do. That's what we do in the BWO. We're not just saying, all right, bro, I don't like the way you're moving, but I can't teach you a better way. I ain't just going to tell you, hey, fire your job, but I can't teach you how to create your own business, right? I ain't going to tell you to get into the market unless we can provide the skill set so when you navigate it, you know how to properly assess the risk in the market. You know how to look at undervalued stock. When the market goes down, you can now have a come up because you have options. You know how to put your puts and your calls together, right? You know what the delta and the gamma is. You understand a completely different language. So now we get to the enterprise and what's the development of the future? Black people understanding technology, finances, spirituality, emotions, and we're at the frontier of these enterprises. And we own the platforms. It's not enough for us to ask about NFTs, not enough for us to ask about cryptocurrencies if the gatekeepers are the people who own the platforms. We're just setting ourselves up as slaves of new industries again. Now we just being the first slaves to jump in. What was our complaint is that we don't own nothing. So when we own something, we control something. Now we can pass that down. So I don't just want you to own cryptocurrency. I want you to understand the technology, and I want you to own a part of the blockchain, right? I don't just want you to own some stock. I want you to IPO a business. Stop thinking these things are for everybody else's community but ours. The only reason we don't have it is because we think it's not for us. Every other community has a standard towards wealth. And that standard all deals with this principle of education. The education system is preparing children for a world that doesn't even exist. Those skill sets no longer valuable. Artificial intelligence replacing jobs every single day. So what becomes the most valuable thing? Creativity, imagination, negotiation, design, things that can't be replaced by artificial machines and artificial intelligence. So as we continue to develop these human innate things, then we learn how to use the tools, so therefore we don't become controlled, but we have all of the power in the world. My goal is to become greatest thought leader of our generation. And I had to look up what thought leader was and who are the top thought leaders in the world right now. Because if I say that in our generation, people go feel like, damn, I never even wanted to be a thought leader, but now I want to compete with them. Because that's how we think. But I learned that we can all be ones. In the universe, we're all ones. We don't have to compete. We move side by side with each other. Not lateral, we stack on and we praying on the next person as competition and I want to take their spot. We think in abundance. The universe is constantly expanding at all times. And where the universe expanding is just saying that this is where light has not reached yet. So there's parts of our community, there's parts of our mind that has not been enlightened yet. In the moment we get truth, we get knowledge, we get information, we get skill sets, then we become enlightened. And then that's when we take over our world. I appreciate y'all for listening. I'm 19 Keys. Continue to tap into your brilliance, systemize it, and build your own world. Peace, family.